February 28th, 2024, and I'm doing something new here. I'm on my way to Ashland, Nebraska. Right now I am on Route 6. And, well, this would be at, coming in at Lenoka, Nebraska. And basically Route 6 runs alongside BNSF's Omaha Sub from Lenoka all the way to Ashland. Alright. Great place to watch the Omaha Sub. Amtrak runs on this in the middle of the night, midnight, and then again going east about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. It goes through here around midnight, heading west, California's effort. BNSF also runs freight into Omaha here. The OMAX, OPPD coal drag comes through here with the blue and silver coal cars. You'll usually see a war bonnet, an executive Grinstein. That's usual suspects found on here. Every once in a while, the 25th anniversary engine comes through here on a manifest train or something. But this is the ride into Ashland, Nebraska for me. As you can see, that is the Omaha Sub. That camera flip. The Omaha Sub for BNSF. It's maybe used. It might be maybe 7 or 8 trains a day. The freight is as needed. They do run every day a Hobson to Gibson Yard turn. It goes back and forth, east and west, east-west route here, as most of BNSF in my area is. But again, the name of the town is Lenoma. There's the lighthouse in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska. Lenoma, Nebraska. But this makes some interesting video and photography spot where we cross over the Platte River. Great spot to catch a train. You can park on both sides of the road here and catch trains going over the Platte River. The Nebraska National Guard's in the background. Again, this is BNSF Omaha Sub. It is signaled PTC'd. There's another crossing where you can stop and you can see the signals. Then the road kind of gets away from the railroad for a moment as we go over a creek, and we cross over the Creston Sub for BNSF. So the Omaha Sub is over here to the right. We cross over the creek right here. We come up the hill. The Creston Sub is actually cut into this hill. And right here is the Creston Sub. And right now there's nothing there. Usually there's trains holding to go west. The signal's right around the corner here. Coming to your first point at which you can video and record. I'll pull in there, and it's not where I usually sit. But here's the storage area. Just past the storage, we are now in Ashland, Nebraska. This is where the Omaha, Creston Sub, and Sioux City Sub all come together. There's the signals for the Y here. You can pull into this little yard here and actually sit at the Y. All these cars here are for trucks that park here that live in Ashland. This is the eastern end of the Y. It tells you that. There's the signal box and the defect detector. And as you can see, there is the Creston Sub is the 2 tracks in front of us. The 3rd track is the Omaha Sub, and then the track that's curving is the eastern leg of the Y for the Sioux City Sub. Alright, there's the subway. That's usually where I sit. You can sit behind there. Like I said, there are signals here. There's the signal for the Omaha Sub coming into the Creston Sub. Then the signal for the Creston Sub to either go north up the Sioux City Sub or across, crossing all of the switches to continue west on the Creston Sub. Now my favorite spot to sit while I'm here in Ashland is right behind the subway and car wash right here. It allows you to see the Sioux City Sub signals along with the Creston signals. It tells you which way the trains are coming. Just pull in like this. A lot of guys sit up here on the hill here on the left. I just pull in. And we're not lit on the Sioux City Sub, but looking west. Yep, they're doing work on the switches again. We are all red for westbound, which makes me think that there might be some eastbound traffic coming and or something going up the Sioux City Sub. The western leg of the Y is farthest away from us. The Creston Sub's in front of us. And then the first 2 Creston Sub, 3rd track is the Omaha Sub. And then in the background is the eastern and western leg where they come together for the beginning of the Sioux City Sub, which is how BNSF gets up to Sioux City, Iowa. Again, Railfanning Adventures, February 29th, 2024. Again, this is looking west. We are all red. This is a control point, so these are always lit. Good indicator what's coming, what's not. We're probably going to have some eastbound traffic right now. The Sioux City Sub signals are approach lit. They light up when there's something coming south, or if they're green, it's something going north. They're right there. And you can't see it, but there are signals for them coming off the Sioux City Sub to cross the diamond. That's a diamond signal there. Where the Sioux City eastern leg of the Y crosses over into Omaha Sub and then connects with the Creston Sub. So that is Ashland, Nebraska in a nutshell. Pretty cool spot to watch trains. Railfanning Adventures. Alright, continuing our tour. We're still at Ashland. Another spot that you can sit where you can see the signals. Is right down here by the Dollar General. It lets you see the signal for the western leg of the Y, how they go north to on the Sioux City Sub. So coming out of the subway and hanging right on 6. This is the other location where you can watch trains here in Ashland, Nebraska. There's a Lee Sapp Ford parking lot right here. The Dollar General's the other way to get in, but you can just pull in here like so. And then pull to the back. This allows you to see the western leg of the Y for the Sioux City Sub and the signal. You can't really see the eastbound signals here. And then there's the signal bridge and the maintenance way yard here in Ashland, along with the small yard that is also here in Ashland, Nebraska. Railfanning Adventures, tour of the Creston, Sioux, and Omaha subs for BNSF. Alright, Railfanning Adventures, Lincoln, Nebraska. And this is the local at a Hobson Yard working. Just found out there was a major derailment on BNSF in Iowa, so traffic here is all kinds of foobarred right now. Apparently it happened sometime last night. And our local out of Hobson here always works with caboose, which they use as a shove platform. They're going to spin him around on the Y. Railfanning Adventures, Lincoln, Nebraska. February 20th. Hi, Railfanning Adventures, February 29th, 2024. I'm here in Lincoln, Nebraska at one of my favorite spots. So I'll spin the camera around and show you in a minute. This is on the eastern side of Hobson Yard. It is actually the lead-in for Hobson Yard, along with the beginning of the St. Joe Sub, which the local is reversing on the Y here. We're going to spin around and catch him coming back. It should be caboose first with the conductor engineer on board. Again, this is the spot. You just park right here and the little mill right at the crossing. This is looking west into Hobson Yard. Looking east. Oh, here it comes. Here comes our local coming back with the crew on the caboose, and that's the reason that they use the caboose as a shove platform. Just caught him as I got into town here. First picture I got was from the Amtrak station. Then the next one was them coming on the eastern leg of the Y onto the St. Joe Sub, and now reversing on the western leg of the Y back into Hobson Yard via remote controlled. I don't think there's anybody in 2701 right now. They're both on the back end of the train. Most of the yard power here is remote controlled. It says it on the cab, remote control unit. Yeah, there's nobody in there. GP39-2. And in the distance, looking west, you can see the other work in the yard here along the maintenance way. Railfanning Adventures, Lincoln, Nebraska. I don't know how much we're going to see here today other than the St. Joe Sub. There was a major derailment in Iowa, so pretty sure that the Creston Sub is shut down right now. There's another one of the local units out of Hobson Yard. This one, an SD40-2. It too is also remote control, but the crew is in the cab right now. It is building a train here. Hobson Yard is a classification yard for BNSF. There's a hump here. A lot of the manifests that we see on the Creston Sub and the St. Joe Sub come in here, go over the hump, get broken up, and then back out onto the system. The derailment was in Salix, Iowa, which is joint track BNSF UP. But there was also another derailment somewhere on the Creston Sub that they're doing track work on right now, so I might be moving location to the western end of Hobson Yard and catching trains coming in and out from the western side. I found a new spot that I'll be heading to. More videos and pictures to come. Rich Bernard and Railfanning Adventures. There's a very cool long string of gondolas here. An original Burlington Northern. There's scrap car parts in these. I can see a wheel sticking out the top of the one that just went by. Here's another BN gondola. Those wheels are most likely for Havelock Yard, which is their car repair shop just east of this location. There's Hobson Yard and the Havelock Yard. Hobson Yard's a classification yard. Hobson Yard's a classification yard. Havelock Yard is the car repair yard for BNSF. So as this train is building, our local with our crew on the caboose right now is holding right there. Again, it's February 29th. I'm here at Hobson Yard. Gonna drive into Hobson Yard, get some pictures, and then continue west on BNSF. Well, on the west side is the Sandhill Sub, and I forget the other one. There's one that goes to Hastings. We're gonna be on both. Alright, February 28th, 2024, and coming out of Hobson Yard, heading east on the Creston Sub is a manifest passing the local. Local's still waiting to get in the yard. They turned him around on the Y right here. And right now, Union Pacific is getting ready to turn around on the Y, but there's a little bit of traffic here in the way. Union Pacific is out of Valley, Nebraska. They come up here to Lincoln and interchange with them. Wow, there's power on this. I got 5 units on this. Should be a decent size. There's an Acer 9148. Followed by 8502, another Ace. Followed by 7456, an ES44 AC. Sorry, DC. It's a DC. Then a Dash 9 44 CW. And finally, an ES44 DC, another one. Now, here comes a treat, ladies and gentlemen. We see a lot of original BN cars, but you don't see too many Santa Fe's. And there's one right there, an original Santa Fe. We see a lot of BN. They saved a lot of Burlington Northern, but not a lot of the Santa Fe. So that's always cool to see. Again, this is heading east down the Creston Sub. This train was just built here in Hobson Yard. This may be going to Omaha. I don't know. Or it can go to Chicago too. This can go all the way east to Chicago. But I know there was a derailment yesterday or this morning in Iowa. Not the one in Salix, but there's one on the Creston Sub somewhere on the Iowa side, east of Pacific Junction. Oh, this is either going to Chicago or Des Moines. It's got a lot of NS. Oh, here's a really cool, some really cool graffiti on a coil car. A little devil. Again, Railfanning Adventures. I'm on the east end of Hobson Yard in Lincoln, Nebraska. Yeah, I'm saying that this is going to Omaha because these are bungee cars. It's either going to Chicago or Omaha. Best guess, Omaha. Second guess, Chicago. And again, Union Pacific's Valley turn is holding on the St. Joe's Y right now to come into the yard. So it is on the eastern leg of the Y there for the St. Joe Sub. It's got an SD70M. This is definitely Omaha. Omaha train. Railfanning Adventures. Alright, February 29th, 2024, and I decided to go west from Hobson Yard on one of the BNSF main lines to Seward, Nebraska, which is their main route for coal up to Wyoming and Denver, the Sandhill Division. And we have an eastbound loaded coal drag coming. And I am west of Hobson Yard in a town called Seward, Nebraska. Doing a little exploring today. Followed my map. And I could have went southwest to Hastings, but decided to go just west. First, going in the Hobson Yard and Seward, Nebraska. CAEG is a reporting mark. GGPX from CAEG, HBJX, FURX. Majority is CAEG though. Again, this one's heading east. Right now, according to the compass, it's going south, but east, railroad east. So this line goes to Grand Island, up through Grand Island, and west into Nebraska. Right here at Seward, the one line goes north to Columbus, Nebraska, and then the other line continues out towards Grand Island, which I believe is the Sandhill sub. I figured I would sit out here for a little bit and then head down to Hastings or Aurora and see what I could catch there. Again, I'm doing a little exploring west of Hobson Yard in Lincoln, Nebraska. Seward, Nebraska is where we are right now. I suspect we're going to see a lot of empty and loaded coal drags on this line. Again, this is how they get to the Powder River Basin. Again, in the town of Seward is where the split is for them to go north to Columbus. and west to Grand Island. Which myself and the Potato have followed. We followed the BNSF Sandhill Sub all the way to Alliance, Nebraska, and then from there drop down to UP and Cheyenne. Here comes our rear DPU. Ken decided to go west from Lincoln today. Poke around BNSF's main line. See what I can catch. First train I caught loaded cold drag here in Seward. Railfanning Adventure. Alright, here's something other than trains. 3 KC-135 refuelers just came in to land in Lincoln in a row. This is the first. That's number 1. Number 2. There he is, right there. There's number 2, and number 3 is behind him. Sorry about that, guys. It's really hard to video aircraft. All 3 of them just came in together. He's now turning to come in. That's number 2. Number 3. Number 3 is a little farther out. There we go. And there's the 3rd one. Again, 3 KC Air Force KC-135 refuelers coming into land in Lincoln, Nebraska at the same time, all 3. Hey, February 28, 2024. I'm sitting here on the east end of Hobson Yard at CP Hall, and we have a westbound with a 70 Mac. Looks like a manifest coming into the yard. And we are lit for a southbound heading down to St. Joe's Sub, coming out of the yard. So we should have a double train meet here momentarily. This is the westbound manifest coming in. And we have a green for a southbound as well. Oh, it's a southbound cold drag. There he is, right there. Alright, let's get the power on this guy first. 6950. ES44C4, ES44AC, and an SD70 Mac on the westbound manifest. And again, we're lit for a southbound on the St. Joe's. That cold drag is slowly making its way out of the yard towards me from the fueling racks. Ladies and gentlemen, one thing about Nebraska and Iowa weather, if you ever come out here from somewhere else, especially during spring and fall, make sure you bring your summer and winter clothes, because within 12 hours it can go from 82 to the high today has been 30. Last night it was down to 2 degrees with the wind chill. It was 82 degrees. 82 degrees. We set the record high The day before, Monday. Tuesday it was windy. Last night it snowed and the temperature dropped to 2 degrees. So come prepared for Nebraska and Iowa weather. All right, here's our southbound coming. It is a loaded coal drag. $63.81 leading. This one's going to go south down to St. Joe Sub. That is an ES44HC, 6134, which I think is also an ES44HC. Yep. FURXJHMX are the reporting marks on this coal drag. Again, the speed limit on this train will be 20 miles an hour as it negotiates the southern leg of the Y here at CP Hall, RWSX. Again, this is a southbound loaded coal drag. The westbound manifest is right behind it. So besides the 2 derailments in the last couple of days for BNSF, one in Salix, Iowa, and the other one just east of Pacific Junction, they also decided to lay off crews both at Havelock and Hobson Yard. Apparently a downturn in traffic dictated that they had to lay guys off. It does seem like there's less traffic here than normal. They laid off car repairmen and train crews. ATW boxcar in the background. 2 ATW boxcars. More ADMX cars. We got a southbound, that's the one right in front of us, the coal drag, and a westbound right behind it. Coal drag's hanging south on the St. Joseph Sub. It is loaded coal. We got some BNSF ballast cars passing us now behind this train. They're the new ones. They got plows in between the dumps, so these cars can actually spread ballast both sides and then use the plow to spread it along the tracks. These are the new ballast cars. I've caught them before in Fremont, Nebraska. Every third or fourth one has a plow in the center that can be put in a V or to the right or to the left to help spread the ballast as they're dumping it along the tracks. Does look like the ballast cars are empty. There's a maintenance away train in Ashland right now, so I'm wondering if maybe this manifest that's coming in the yard came out of Omaha. Or possibly down from Sioux City. There was a ballast train in Sioux City when me and David followed the Union Pacific CN line to Lamar's and then up to Minnesota the other day. There's a good chance that this train that we're seeing behind us came down from Sioux City. The end of the ballast cars is coming, and we've got a couple of I-beams. There's a fairly large manifest behind this large coal drag heading south. Oh, a couple of Burlington Northern and original paint right there. Right there, two of them in a row in the background. The rear of the coal train is coming when we got two rear DPUs on this one. Another Burlington Northern in the background there. And it looks like an AGP car coming. Yep. There's an AGP car, the green one, in the background behind the coal. And then more CRDX, more Cargill. Oh, another Burlington Northern right there. Oh, a Frisco. We have a Frisco. That is unusual. There is a Frisco PS2 in between a couple of Burlington Northern cars. That is super rare. For all you fallen flag guys, that's super rare. Some more Burlington Northern, original Burlington Northern cars. Looks like it's going to be 3 of them in a row. Can't believe that Frisco. Of course the Frisco went by when there's a coal drag in front of it. Of course. Oh, we have some foreign power as our rear GPU on this coal drag. 4219, and that's 4219. AC44 C6M and an Acer. I don't see the Frisco. Darn it, the Frisco is out of my sight range. Let me see if I can back up and get it. That'd be great if I can get that Frisco car. There it is. There is the Frisco right there. That was a pretty cool fallen flag car. I mean, I like seeing the original BN cars, but we see a lot of them out here. The Burlington Northern and original green paint. The Frisco, that is an unusual car. Railfanning Adventure, CP Hall, Lincoln, Nebraska. David, here's two now. The third one's just taking off again. They're following each other. They keep doing touch and goes here in Lincoln. This is the second set of 3. After the first 3 landed, these 3 keep doing touch and goes here. February 29th, 2024, still here in Lincoln, Nebraska at CP Hall. And we got a westbound grain train. Looks like it's going to be a corn train coming in. I'm gonna say this one probably came off the Sioux City Sub and is coming in the yard here, heading west. $58.27 ES44 AC. Nope, this came from Council Bluffs. This is Bungie out of so this actually came out of Council Bluffs today. Went through Pacific Junction, followed the Creston Sub to here. If anybody saw the graffiti on BNGX car 30838, bad choices make great stories, that is very true. Don't recommend it, but yeah, they do. Because no great story ever started with, I was eating a salad. That is for sure. That's pretty cool. Again, this train was loaded at Bungie and Bungie's Council Bluffs. So it came down the Council Bluffs sub, head west to Pacific Junction, onto the Creston Sub, and now it's here. And I believe this is some kind of feed. These cars are full of feed after they make their ethanol byproduct. Just like ADM and Cargill. I need my hands, so let us do this little trick with my phone real quick. There should be some rear DPUs on this train. Usually it comes back or goes out with two in the front, one in the rear. In this case it's coming back, so it should be one in the rear or one in the front, two in the rear. But we'll see, because they had 3 units waiting to pick this train up the other day when we were at Pacific Junction, because they go through Council Bluffs to get to Pacific Junction. So there were 3 units sitting there, and I'm assuming if I go back in my pictures, the unit that was leading this is one of the pictures I got from the other day. Sitting over by Mid-America, or in 29th Street Yard, IAIS's yard, waiting to pick this train up. Again, Bungie is another company that makes ethanol, high fructose corn syrup, just like Cargill and ADM. And I believe this byproduct is feed. We also have a eastbound coming out of the yard. Again, Bungie, just like Cargill and ADM, have fleets of their own rail cars. BNGX is Bungie Rail. There's one that actually says Bungie on it. Which is funny because it's an FURX and then Bungie written in the center. I got a picture for it. It'll be somewhere in this video. And we have an eastbound loaded corn train or empty corn train coming out of Hobson Yard right now, which will be heading east on the Creston Sub. Here comes the rear DPU. Or use, could be plural. Nope, just one. So it's a 1x1 on this Bungie train coming out of Council Bluffs and the Hobson Yard here. $62.48. as the rear DPU. ES44 and 6800 leading a triple header. We got a westbound and eastbound. This one's an ES44 C4 6800, followed by a burnt up 5065 and another ES44 C4. These are empties going east. This train, I think, is going to go north up the Sioux City Sub to Oakland, Nebraska Co-op there and get loaded. If I was a betting man and I decided to leave right now, Lincoln, and head to Ashland, we would see this swing north on the Sioux City Sub on its way up to Oakland, Nebraska. If this is the Oakland Co-op train, it'll go up to Oakland, Nebraska on the Sioux City Sub, get loaded at the Co-op, come back here to Hobson, and then go south down to Mexico. Or this one came up from Mexico empty, went to Hobson. It's going to go up to Oakland, get loaded there, and then it could go up to Canada too, because our co-op in Oakland, Nebraska does send feed to Mexico and Canada. That co-op there in Oakland, I am going to model on my layout. It has a giant loop track, and they can fit about 130 car train to load. Just a continuous loop. Once they start, they have 24 hours to load the train. A good friend of mine works there. So they get 24 hours to load the train and send it on its way. And from time to time, BNSF will park the manifest. If they don't have room, they'll park the manifest on the loop there between Sioux City and Hobson Yard. just some information about the Oakland Co-op. Which I'm definitely thinking this is going to Oakland. I've seen some of these cars before by the graffiti on them. I have video of this train at the co-op getting loaded, coming south in Fremont, going north in Fremont, swinging west in Ashland, and then going south here on the St. Joe Sub, loaded after coming back from Oakland. So I have video of this train multiple times. There won't be a rear DPU on this. They keep all the power on one end because they're empty. And the co-op will use the power to load this train while it's there. My buddy Job gets to hop up in them 3 engines and use this to load. Use their power to load it. Like I said, on the continuous loop in Oakland, Nebraska. You see the blanket and the sleeping bag up there. This train, the last trip, probably had gone down to Mexico. When it's down to Mexico, a lot of the migrants will hop on top of the train and ride it north to the border. And as you can see by that car that was going by, there was a sleeping bag on top. So the last time this train was loaded in Oakland, it went down to Mexico, and now it's going back. Railfanning Adventures, CP Hall, Lincoln, Nebraska. Alright, Railfanning Adventure, CP Hall, Lincoln, Nebraska. One of the local yard power from Hobson Yard is building a train. I think it's a GP39-2. Nope, maybe it's one of the SD40s. That's one of the SD40s. So one of the many remote units that work the yard here. That's weird. Also lit for something to come out of the yard and head south on the St. Joe Sub. Well, there's no train brake on this because the airlines are disconnected. So this train was probably went over the hump. And they're building an outbound. Like I said, the airlines aren't connected, so there's no train brake or anything. So these cars, most likely, that's pretty cool. Like they spray painted BNSF on that one. Anyway, none of the airlines are connected, so these cars came over the hump. And they're building a train. Now they're going to align some switches behind them and shove them back in the yard. A lot of wood. A tremendous amount of I-beam cars that were on them. And there's the end. Again, Railfanning Adventure, CP Hall, east side of Hobson Yard, Lincoln, Nebraska. Another manifest heading into Hobson Yard. I'm on my way home, kind of stuck in traffic waiting for people to get going. When this rounded the corner here over by the Amtrak station. Luckily, I won't miss anything on the BNSF main line on the way home, because the road I run on follows the BNSF main line all the way to Ashland, Nebraska. And here's the Amtrak station as I make my way through Lincoln on my way home. Railfanning Adventures, February 28th, 2024. Rolling past the Amtrak station here in Lincoln. And a westbound manifest coming into Hobson Yard right now. Being led by two, I think they were Gevos. Couldn't really tell, they were in the sun. On the Creston Sub, heading into Hobson. And here's the end of it. Railfanning Adventures on my way home from Lincoln. And there goes 756 westbound with the Fremont stack train.